Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is March 21st, 2018, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, starting out at 11:30 South African time, coming out of the United Kingdom, average earning index number coming out. Now that's not a particularly important number per se, but if there are any surprises, you do want to know that it is coming out. And then at 4:30 South African time, weekly oil inventories coming out. And that's on the back of President Trump and Saudi Prince Mohammed that met yesterday and still stating that the OPEC will keep oil inventories at its steady levels. So that is kind of important event, and we'll take a look at oil in just a moment. But more importantly, later today, FOMC statement at 8 p.m. South African time coming out of the United States. Now this is Fed Chairman Powell's first statement. He's picking up the reins from Janet Yellen. So the question is he going to change things? Up until now, okay, we've had something like since 1980, okay, we've had Alan Greenspan, Bernanke, and Janet Yellen, and all of them have come from the same school of thought. So it could be kind of interesting the way to see if Powell is going to change things up a little bit with President Trump's focus on the economy, focus on the domestic economy. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see if he's going to change things. And sure enough, that will affect the markets, obviously, accordingly. And then after the FOMC statement at 8:30 South African time, FOMC press conference is followed. Now that's a very important event as well because it discusses their rate decision, so on and so forth. So just a few important events later today as the week progresses. But let's take a look at the markets to see what's been happening. So we're jumping here into the Euro USD, and it's trading at 122.74 as you can see here. And we sold off nicely yesterday from yesterday's little tight range that we traded between 123.49 and 123.33. And we just broke it. And we sold off about 70 pips from then. It's been really choppy kind of trading, to tell you the truth. And, there's no because of these special numbers coming out, and because we're not trending, it's a little bit more difficult for people that are holding 2 to 3 days, swing traders, to make money in these type of environments. However, if you're scalping, okay, this is really where you're making most of your money. 20 to 30 pips in a 70 pip range for the day is a good day, right? So with that said, just keep in mind that it has been very choppy. And until we break out either on the upside above 123.60ish level or below 122.18ish level, I don't think that we're going to change this choppiness, okay? And it's going to continue. So let's see what with the number later today, if it does give us a direction or redirection to the market. Now looking at the GBP USD, yesterday we sold off as well, and we made it back to the trend line, okay, to the previous resistance, subsequent support, and we're just bouncing off right now, and we're just below our support level at 140.28, but we are above 140. So that's a little bit encouraging to see if we do continue rallying on this. Looking at USD ZAR, we sold off yesterday. The ZAR getting stronger versus the dollar. At 11.94, we traded as low as 11.91ish this morning, and as high as 12.08. So, again, it's been very choppy, but I do think that we're going to continue this choppiness for quite a while. So, unless you're, really picking up very decent positions and, scalping them, I think you have a greater edge on the market when you're scalping it. Jumping to oil, we had a massive rally yesterday to 63.67, close to our all-time highs of 64.45-ish level. So it's kind of interesting to see with the oil inventories number coming out later today, if we're going to continue this upwards rally. Okay, now just jumping on a daily chart, you could just see that we're still trading within the range, but we're breaking above it. So to see that there's continued upwards momentum, I'd like to see if that does continue. We're at somewhat of a previous resistance level, previous support level. So if we don't break above this 63.70-ish level, I think we could correct ourselves later today. So let's take a look at that. Now the Dow Jones breaking lower yesterday down to 24,526. Nice move on the downside, but now we're just bouncing above it at 24,771. Now we broke the upwards trend line, but let's see what happens with the FOMC meeting. I think that's going to weigh in a lot to the direction of the Dow Jones moving forward, and that's an important event. So I don't want to say anything and pick any direction until we do get a little bit more clarity with the FOMC. Keep that behind us into the June session. Now looking at the JSC, we had a nice gapping up and then we sold off, filling in the gap several times. We're finally selling in at 52,292 in a very choppy market again. So, these are things that you have to anticipate. You have to take into consideration that sometimes after a major rally, we do trade in a range. So with that said, just keep in mind that it is very choppy. So if you do take some momentum moves, we may get a little bit of a bounce later today on the upside, 52,700-ish level if we do get to fill that up. So, again, it's a choppy market. Make sure that you're taking stop losses correctly. Make sure that you're taking your profits correctly, and you should be okay. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.